It's the Sabbath. It's time to get us some truth, you know what I mean? I know the church say they do Sundays, but we the truth. We keep the Sabbath. You know what I mean? Check it. It's the Sabbath. And all I wanna do is get in the word tonight. That's right. After I get through praying. And I know everything's gonna be alright. It's the best day of the week when I'm chilling with you. Hey, I just wanna relax all day. Can't read the Bible. Relax until the next day when the sun goes down. I just wanna stay so close to a higher until the next day. When the sun goes down, hey, it's the Sabbath. It's time out for all the work the Most High ain't having it. Most High ain't having it. Praise the higher and just enjoy His rest. Yeah. But you know when we rest in Him, it's always the best. Yeah. No need for working, just get you some rest. That's right, that's right. Not even house duties, but don't leave it a mess. Don't leave it dirty, all right? Cut off some praise music and give a higher some praise. Yeah. Then open up the Bible and read scriptures all day. That's right. I just wanna relax all day. Relax with the Bible. Just wanna relax till the next day. When the sun goes down, I just wanna stay so close to a higher until the next day. When the sun goes down, hey, it's the Sabbath. It's time out for all the work the Most High ain't having it. Praise the higher and just enjoy His rest. You know when we rest in Him, it's always the best. This is for Israel, you know what I mean? Where my Bible at?
I pray that you can hear this song, Zion.
Word right now. Yeah. I just want to dance for the Most High right now. You made enough money for me. Come rest in the Most High. Yeah. You did that. Ooh, yeah. I get the Most High some praise. Thank you. The work the Most High ain't having it. Praise the higher and just enjoy His praise. Praise the higher. I look forward to the Sabbath. Yeah, it's always the best. We chilling with a higher. Always the best. Don't even tell it like fire. For the Most High right now. Just relax to the Most High and meditate on Him.
Shabbat Shalom, Zion. I pray that you enjoyed that Shabbat song. So I want to wish everybody in Shabbat Shalom, Zion. So let's go ahead and start giving praises to the Most High. There is none like the Most High in the heavens, beneath, or above. All praises and glory to our Elohim. Hallelujah. So I pray that everybody is having a blessed Shabbat. I know it's probably early for some, late for others, but bear with us, Zion, because we have a lot to cover. And I want to go ahead and just introduce myself. You all know who I am. I am Daniel ben Yahudah. Brother Eitan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Shabbat Shalom, Israel. Brother Eitan here, the North Gate.
All right.
Hope y'all brothers and sisters are having a wonderful Sabbath so far.
Absolutely. So brothers and sisters, please make sure you have something to write with, because this is going to be very in-depth. Just pray that you just really bear with us while we get going here. So I'm just going to do a little outline and just kind of show you what we're going to be going over. So we're going to be, of course, this lesson is going to be on the validity of mamzers, mixed children. So we're going to be getting into a definition of a mamzer. For those of you who are new, we're going to talk about what a mamzer is. We're going to talk about the warning against mamzers according to the law. And we're going to talk about that annihilation of the abominable man-made 12-tribe chart. And we're going to talk about why integration is the biggest stumbling block to our people. So that's what we're going to get into.
God. Now, Today, Israel, we want to make sure that you all realize that, we're not here trying to cause confusion, and we're not here to try to cause contention with anyone. We do understand that this is a sensitive topic because our people have been destroyed and we have been doing things that are unknowingly wicked. And this is not an attempt to rebuke or just to put down anyone. This is just straight Bible facts of what the Bible says. That's all. We don't have anything against like camps. We just have a problem against their doctrines. All right. We don't have any problems against camps. We just have problems against their doctrine.
Yeah, very well said, brother. And again, this is the word of the Most High, and this is what we're commanded to do. Follow the word of the Most High, whether we like it or not. Zion, truth is truth. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and turn your Bibles to Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5, because what we want to do is just establish a really good foundation of what not to do. And Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. I'll give you time to go ahead and turn there. That's Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Yeah. And it says, trust in El Yahudah with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. Why is that so important? Because when you look at our people, Christianity has done a horrific job on our people and brainwashing them. And, when you look into these churches, most of the people don't even bring their Bibles. The pastor will say a couple of words and give his own opinions, and then that's it. Everybody goes home not knowing anything. So it's important for us to start practicing to lean heavily on the word of Yahudah instead of our own wisdom. Because right now we've been doing, we do too much of that in Israel. All right, let's go to another one. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise, get that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. So that's really huge. And you really, when you come into this faith, it's like you have to unlearn everything that we've learned in the Christian churches. We have to learn it. Sometimes that stings because everything we grew up with and used to, it's hard to change. And we've been taught by the world that, everybody have to love one another, integrate with everybody. And we're going to show you, brother Aitan is going to show you throughout this lesson that how the integration has become a big stumbling block to our people. And it's so bad to the point, even if you talk about coming together as a people, we would seem like a racist in the eyes of everybody else. I mean, that's how bad it's gotten. So what I want to do now is just kind of establish another good foundation. So we're going to look at a few things. We're going to go ahead and turn to Jubilees chapter 30. Because what we want to establish here is we want to show you that the Most High was not planned when it came to mixing. And even before the law, no mixing was already established. I mean, it was a no-brainer. So go ahead and go to the book of Jubilees, chapter 30. And I want to show you something. All right.
Now, before we Salakia, before we jump into to Jubilees chapter 30, I want you guys to understand this is just a more in-depth story about Dinah. That's the only reason why we're jumping to Jubilees. This is just a more in-depth story about Dinah that's in Jubilees, but it's the same person. Okay, so I don't want anyone to think that we're trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes and go to stuff that people don't understand. Okay, this is just a more in-depth story of how Dinah went. Okay, Salakia, brother, go ahead.
All right, so let's start with verse 1, Jubilees chapter 30 and verse 1. And it says, and the first year of the 6th week, he went up to Shechem, to the east of Shechem, in peace in the 4th month. And there carried off Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov, into the house of Shechem, the son of Kamar, and Shivi, the prince of the land. And they laid with her, defiled her, and she was a little girl, a child of 12 years old. So she was only 12 when that happened to her. Verse 3, and he besought his fathers and her brothers that she might be given to him to be his woman. And Yaakov and his sons were wroth because of the men of Shechem, for they had defiled Dinah, their sister, and they spoke to them with evil intent and dealt deceitfully with them and beguiled them. And I'm going to read this, and then we're going to explain verses 4 through 6. And Simeon and Levi came unexpectedly to Shechem, and executed judgment on all the men of Shechem, and slew all the men whom they found in it, and left not a single one remaining in it. They slew all in torments, because they had dishonored their sister Dinah. And thus let it not again be done from henceforth that a daughter of Yasharahla be defiled, for judgment is ordained in heaven against them, that they should destroy with the sword all the men of Shechem, because they had wrought shame in Yasharahla. And get this, and this is the part I want you to really see. And it says, and Yahudah delivered them into the hands of the sons of Yaakov. Now, why do you think that the Most High allowed them to be delivered into their hands? Because if you read earlier, because Shechem wanted to take, after that incident that happened, Shechem wanted to take the daughters of Israel, and he wanted the sons of Israel to take the daughters of Shechem. So the Most High wasn't having that. So that right there tells you how serious mixing is. And this is something that we have to really take in consideration and take seriously, because it was never meant for us as a nation to blend in with the other nations. We were always supposed to be set apart. And that's the issues we're having right now. And even amongst the awakened Israelites, you know, with this 12 tribe chart that they're pushing, calling the Mexicans Israelites and these Hispanics, which we're going to show you why they're doing that, and we're going to annihilate that. But that has been the biggest stumbling block within our people. For some reason, we have a serious lust, serious taste for strange women. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's what our forefathers struggle with. And that's something that we have to really, really break free from. So, brother, I'm just going to pull up the definition of mamzers, and then we'll let you go ahead and go to Deuteronomy 23. So let me pull that up right quick.
Before we get off that chapter, man, we can keep on reading down, and it gets serious. It actually,
go ahead.
Straight up.
While I'm pulling this up.
Okay, Khan. Jubilees chapter 30, and I'm gonna start at verse 6, Israel, and I'm gonna read down so we can actually get a clear picture and see what exactly is going on. It says, and the Lord delivered them unto the hands of the sons of Jacob, that they might exterminate them with the sword, and execute judgment upon them, and that might not thus be done in Israel, that a virgin of Israel should be defiled. And if there is any man who wishes in Israel to give his daughter or his sister to any man who is of the seed of the Gentiles, he shall surely die. They shall stone him with stones, for he hath wrought shame in Israel, and they shall burn the woman with fire, because she has dishonored the name of the house of her father, and she shall be rooted out of Israel. And it continues on, and it continues on and reads, and let not an adulteress and an unclean be found in Israel throughout all the days of the generations of the earth. Throughout all the days of the generations of the earth, for Israel is holy unto the Lord, and every man who has defiled it shall surely die. They shall stone him with stones. For thus it has been ordained and written in the heavenly tablets regarding the seed of Israel. He who defileth it shall surely die, and he shall be stoned with stones. And to this law there is no limit of days, and no remission, nor any atonement. But the man who has defiled his daughter shall be rooted out of the midst of all the Israel, because he has given his seed to Molech, and wrought impiously so as to defile it. As do thou, Moses, command the children of Israel, and exhort them not to give their daughters to the Gentiles, and not to take for their sons any of the daughters of the Gentiles, for this is abominable for the Lord. And we already know that it's abomination for the Lord for us to take any heathen woman, right? So just thinking about it, if it's an abomination for you to have a heathen or a wife, all right, what will happen to the child? And we're going to continue reading. You said you wanted me to go to Deuteronomy 23?
Yeah, before you go there, So we got to understand too. So we're gonna address some things towards the end of the lesson, because see, there were some cases where our forefathers did mix, but we're gonna talk about those consequences, because mixing with other heathen nations comes with consequences. That's something you have to realize. All right. So go ahead, brother.
And Salakia, Israel, I'm just getting over the flu. I still have a little bit of it left, so I get up to have to blow my nose or something like that. Salakia. All right, we're going to go to the law, right? Because the law is what stands firm above anything else, okay? We have our people, they try to look for small little nuances in the scriptures where it seems like that people are doing other things, but in reality, they're in wickedness, okay? Because the law stands that it is, and you can't get around the law no matter what, and that's what our people try to do so often. That's what's always gotten us in a lot of trouble, is because of the simple fact we've always trying to circumvent the law and trying to be more slick to the Most High. Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 2. It says, a bastard. Brother, you want to pull that up?
Yep, I got it. You need to read through.
Actually, a mamzer in the scriptures, okay, which is actually a mamzer. It says, a bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even till his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. All right, now that's the law right there. We're going to find out what a bastard is according to the scriptures. According to the Bible, we're going to figure out what a bastard is. Got the Strongs there?
Yep. So let me just put up this dictionary right quick. This let me do a share screen quick. So I just want to just show you this. Hopefully they can see this. Can you see this, brother, on your side? Okay, this is coming from Wikipedia. So in the Hebrew Bible and Jewish religious law, a mamzer, estranged person, is a person born from certain forbidden relationships. Did I hear that? Or from incest, as defined by the Bible, or the descendants of such a person. Mamzer status. So it's telling you right there what that consists of. So let's pull up. Go ahead and let me. Let's get the blue letter Bible. All right, what you want to pull up here?
Yeah, you can go there too, and just put up, just type in bastard, and it'll come up.
All right, so let's look at that. Can you see that on your side?
Israel, can y'all see that? Can I get a yes on the comment board if y'all can see that?
All right, so good. So what did we just read when we put up the Wikipedia? So bastard, child of incest, illegitimate child. What does illegitimate means? Bastard, mixed population.
Go all the way down to the Strong's definition.
Born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother, or vice versa. Okay.
That's a mamzer.
Yep. And then I'm gonna read this one right here. It says, from an unused root meaning to alienate, mongrel, born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother. So I think they get the picture here.
That's right. A mongrel, same thing as a mutt, as a dog. You know, a mixed breed, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to pull up plenty of examples in the scriptures where mixed breed were thrown out of the congregation of the Lord, just like the law says in Deuteronomy 23 and 2. Okay. All right, you ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, let's go to some examples of this, right? Let's go to Judges chapter 11 and verse 2. All right. We're going to go to Judges chapter 11, and we're going to start with verse 1, and I'm going to read 1 through 2, okay? Now, Gilead, right? Gilead is of the tribe of Manasseh, okay? Gilead is of the tribe of Manasseh. And it says, now Jephthah of the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of a harlot. And Gilead begat Jephthah. Verse 2. And Gilead's wife bare him sons, and his wife's sons grew up, and they thrust out Jephthah and said unto him, thou shalt not inherit our father's house, for thou art the son of a strange woman. Again, that's the law right there. Deuteronomy 23:2. A bastard shall not be included in the congregation of the Lord. Let's go to another one. All right. Let's go to let's go to Esdras. Let's go to first Esdras. Let's go to first Esdras. Let's start at verse 9.
Are you read that?
Yeah, Khan.
First Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 9.
Khan.
Okay, so it says, verse 9, and do his will, and separate yourselves from the heathen of the land, and from the strange woman. Then cried the whole multitude, and said with a loud voice, like as thou hast spoken, so will we do. Verse 11. Right.
Well, says, Slaki, I want you to stop right there. Now, okay. Israel, if you got your Bibles open, right? I want you to scan down, and you'll see that it talks about all the people who had sons and daughters that were mixed among the nations, right here, right? And then so at 36, we're going to see, right? We're going to see that the law of Deuteronomy 23:2 upholds. And it says, all these that has taken strange wives have put them away with their children. Now, this is also a precept in Ezra, because Ezra and Ezra is the same thing. It's just more testaments here in the Apocrypha. But it's the exact same thing. This is exactly the law. Now, we have people that were sinning in the beginning, and they were doing things that they shouldn't be. You know, like Solomon, like King Solomon. He had a Ammonite's wife. You know, he had a wife, and she was an Ammonite. And they had, I think it was Jeroboam or Rehoboam. And you know, he was wicked. He was wicked as hell because he was a half-breed. There was nothing in the scriptures that said that he was ordained to sit on the throne. But the kingdom broke just right after that. And then, as a matter of fact, it even talks about it in Ezra, how it says that the rulers from King Solomon and his 1,000 wives and his 300 concubines, which were heathens, how he went off. You know, so it goes off and it says that the great rulers of the land, we were mixed with this sin from the very beginning. Let me pull that up for you.
Yeah. And why you pulling that up, brother? And you know, it's interesting because we wouldn't supposed to have kings in the first place. One thing led to another, and that was the big reason why the kingdom was split, because of mixing.
Go ahead, brother. Expound on that some.
So when that happened, when the kings, it's like the Most High had a grand design, because it was like a fail-safe. He says, okay, if you guys are going to mix, and I told you not to, then I'm going to split the kingdom up, and I'm going to shut it down. And we've been split ever since. You know, fast forward today, you look at us now. Who's the only race of people on this earth that are constantly mixing with other nations? It is us. You don't see it with the other nations. Hey, brother, before you go to the scripture, I just want to go to Judges right quick and show them how because they refused to drive the Canaanites out, they would constantly be a thorn in their sides, and that's where all this stuff started to happen. So just hold your finger there. We'll come back to that. Go to Judges chapter 1. Everybody, you got your Bibles? You should have your Bibles. So I'm going to go there now. All right, Judges chapter 1. Let's look at a few things.
Israel, we'll answer questions in the chat, but we're going to wait until the end of the lesson to make sure we have all the precepts, because we don't want to go down any empty rabbit holes. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we'll answer your questions at the end. You know, we'll sit there and we'll pick some questions out of the chat boxes at the very end to give you guys a chance to ask questions. Okay.
And also, we want to make sure because we can't see we can't see all the comments and catch all the comments, but we just ask you to be respectful to one another. We are grown adults here. And if we do see you, if we see anybody calling somebody out their name, you know, we'll delete you. So just be aware of that. So Judges chapter 1, and let's start with verse 21. And it says, and the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites that inhabited Jerusalem, that the Jebusites dwell with them, with the children of Benjamin, and in Jerusalem unto this day. Because remember, the Most High told them to drive them all out. Am I right or wrong? He told them to drive them all out, but they did not do that. So let's go down to verse 29. It says, neither did Ephraim drive out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwelt in Gezer among them. Neither did Zebulun drive out the inhabitants of Kitron, nor the inhabitants of Nahalol, but the Canaanites dwelt among them and became tributaries. Neither did Asher drive out the inhabitants of Akko, nor the inhabitants of Zidon, or Alad, nor Achib, nor of Helba, nor Aplik, nor Rehob. And see, and it goes on and on. So the point that I'm bringing out to you, Zion, is that when we don't obey the Most High and do what he tells us to do, it's going to come with consequences. And because these nations dwelt among them, you know, hundreds, thousands of years later, they would come back to enslave our people. So when the Most High tells us to do something, he's not just looking out just because he's being mean or anything, but he's looking out for the future. Remember, the Most High is past, present, and future. So when he sees things, he sees it in all three. He sees the future. He saw this very time that we're going to be in right now because of the mistakes of our forefathers for mixing in with these other nations.
God.
So that's what I want to bring out, brother.
Okay. Before we go to First Ezra, we're gonna go to 8 and 70. Let's go to that Numbers 1 and 18 real quick. The one that a lot of you know, for some reason this precept has been floating around Israel for a minute, and you know, they believe that this is what solidifies that you are what your father is. Now, what I'm going to show you is that this is not talking about you are what your father is. This is only explaining whether or not which side, let's say, for example, it's only explaining whether or not who the son would go to war on which side. The son will always go to war on whichever the tribe that the father is from. That's all this is talking about. So let's say, for example, if you married a heathen, how would that make any sense? How would this Numbers 1 and 18 apply to any heathens? Because you automatically go to the tribe of whoever the Israelite is. So I don't understand how 1 and 18 would apply, but you know, we're going to read it anyway. We're going to go ahead and break it down and explain it all the way. And Numbers 1 and 18, and it reads, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month and declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of the names 20 years upward, from 20 years old and upward by their polls, as the Lord commanded Moses. So he was numbered them all in the wilderness of Sinai. Slakia, Israel. And the children of Reuben, Israel's eldest son, by their generations, after their families, by the houses of their fathers, according to the number of the names by their polls, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. It has anything. This does not have anything to do with who your father is. This is like, let's say, for example, if I was the tribe of Benjamin and I married a woman of the tribe of Judah, which side would the son fight on? If we had a son together, which side would the son fight on? He would automatically fight on the son. You know, he would fight on my side, which would be a Benjamite, because I'm a Benjamin. Well, I don't know if I'm really a Benjamin. I'm just saying for, you know what I'm saying, for example purposes. Okay, if my wife was a Judite and I was a Benjamite, my son will fight on the side of the Benjamins. All throughout Israel, that's how it is. Whatever the side the father on, that's the side that the son lines up for war. That's all this is talking about. It has nothing to do with anything about oh, it doesn't matter if you have a mixed seed, if it's a heathen. If this is a heathen, if this is talking about a heathen, this wouldn't even make sense. How would this even make sense? How would this ever even apply to a heathen? It wouldn't even apply to a heathen, period, because it would automatically go to whoever the Israelite is in there, because the heathens are counted as less than nothing. All right, so let's go to for those that say there's no such thing as a mixed seed, let's go to First Ezra chapter 8, and we're going to read 69 and 70, I believe. Yeah, 69 and 70, right? So this is pretty much all the nations right here that the Lord said He's just not going to be able to mess with. If it's not, if it's not your beautiful Afro hair black woman, your beautiful Afro hair Israelite woman, then she's not for you. And that's just the bottom line. What these camps have done, they have decided to some kind of way throw out the strength of our women. Even though I know they're a little contentious at times, but still there's a strength in our women that no other nation has. And a lot of that, what I'm saying, a lot of these guys are mama's boys, and they can't really hold that and really understand a woman like that. So what they do, they try to come up with this folly where now they got Mexicans and heathens and all this other stuff. These women are so easily to deal with, just like any heathen woman. You can talk over them, trample over them, and they don't have anything. Okay, so let's read this in
hey brother, before you go, you brought out a good precept there, Numbers 1:18. So I want to get a witness to that one, because that's going to clear up for those who you don't understand, especially when you read that and thinking that you're only who you only are who your father is. So I'm just going to take them to Tobit 4:12. So go to Tobit 4:12. You got your Sefer, Tobit 4:12, your Apocrypha. Give me a second there. Tobit 4:12, because this is going to hit hard to what you just brought out too in Numbers 1:18. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and read that. Tobit chapter 4 and verse 12. It says, "Beware of all the whoredom, my son."
What is whoredom, Salakia? Man, you should look up whoredom and then point that out to the saints so they'll understand that whoredom is messing around with these other nations. It wasn't talking about.
Hold on, let's pull it out right there. Put it in there. Yep. So this is serious, Zion. Just bear with us. Alrighty.
Matter of fact, man, you can pull it up and you can pull it up
right here. Let me
get
the screen share on. Oh, right there. Bam. All right. You see it?
All
right. So let's look up whoredom. Again, Zion, just bear with us, because we're, we do this on a daily basis. We study. We like to be very thorough. So this is going to be H 2181.
That's it.
All right. In the following manner: harlot, go whoring, whoredom, whore, commit fornication, whorish, harlot, continually. All right. Let's look at some more. Commit fornication, be a harlot, play the harlot. To be a harlot, act as a harlot, commit fornication. Y'all hear that word fornication? Because what do we do when we mix with other nations? We commit fornications.
That's right. You can go down to the strongest definition.
Breaking of the first and second commandments. And see, and this is stuff that you all can do too. When you're on your own time, just pull this stuff up and look it up, and you'll see, and it'll become more clear to you. To commit adultery. What happened when we start following after these heathen nations? We commit adultery. Because the Most High has chosen us unto Himself.
That's right. Israel, we're separate from everyone else.
That's right.
If just common sense would say that, if the Lord allowed us to just say, for example, we was all to mix with everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll all look the same. We'll defeat the purpose of the Lord, making everybody different. Everyone is different for a reason. We have this race over here, this race over here, and this race over here for a reason, because the Lord made diversity.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. For Israel, we are holy. We're holy unto the people, and you look up in the scriptures and you'll see that we're not supposed to be going off. Back in the day, it was even a law for us not to even congregate or be around any heathen. You say, it said, don't you know that it's against the law for a Jew to keep company with one that isn't one of us? And that's right. And that was, and that was back in the law from back in the day. So Tobit 4:12 reads, do you want to go ahead and read it out?
Finish that. I'm gonna start from the beginning. And then after that, go ahead and just while we're doing that, go ahead and get Numbers 36:9, and then that'll be that one, and then you can get that first.
All right,
first line. So let me finish Tobit 4:12. It says, beware of all whoredom. So that should be established what that is. It says, my son, and chiefly take a woman of thy what? Of thy seed of your fathers. And here's the thing, here's the kicker. And take not a strange woman. And take not a strange woman. So it's not enough to say you are who your father is. Both the mother and the father must be Israelites.
That's right.
And you know,
So,
I'm going to throw this out there, brother, because the camps love to say that the reason why the northern tribes are Europeans or whitewashed now is because the Spaniards came over and raped, you know, all the Israelites. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. So if that was the case, then that means if they strictly believe you are who your father is, then that would make them heathens, right? Man, think about it. So, you know, they stick their foot in their own mouth when they say stuff like that and have no idea what in the world they're talking about.
That's folly logic reasoning.
Let me start back in the beginning because this is powerful. It says, beware of all
make sure you stick on that. Chiefly take a wife of thy seed of thy fathers.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. Let me finish this right quick. It says, beware of all the whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a woman of the seed of your fathers, and take not a strange woman, because I want this to register with the with Zion to be your woman, which is not of your tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham. Man, it goes on. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married women of their own kindred. Can you repeat that again, brother? Their own what?
Kindred.
Own kindred.
I mean, they look like them.
Not no Mexican, not no Hispanic, not no Native American, their own kindred.
Yeah, so even if you are in the truth right now, and then you're a camp follower or whatever, and you believe that nonsense, and you see these brothers out here in these camps, they're marrying these Mexicans, that is, or any other, you know, Cubans or whatever else nonsense that they have on that chart. How do they justify it when it says you need to marry somebody of your father's tribe?
Exactly.
If you look like me and Daniel, how you gonna marry a Mexican or somebody of Hispanic descent? Does that make any sense? You're being wicked as hell right there.
And then it goes on to say, and were blessed in their children. And they were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. So Zion, I'm gonna tell you something. There is a reason why they are doing this by grand design, by trying to destroy our seed. Why do you think they push these interracial marriages, these commercials? And we're going to show you some clips towards the end. You know, like I said, we got a lot of stuff that we're going to show you, but there's no coincidence that they're focusing directly on us to try to whitewash us out or try to wipe us out through our seed. It's a big, big push. Hey, brothers, you got that Numbers 36:9?
Yeah, Khan. Hey, but before I was going to go there, man, let me read Tobit 4:13. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't read the very next verse after it, because this is also a warning to our people about, you know, choosing people that don't look like us. It says, now, therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, and not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want, for lewdness is the mother of famine. That's exactly what we're going through right now with all this craftiness.
That's powerful. And, you know, the scriptures is so clear. And I don't know why Israel can't get that in their head and why they want to constantly go outside of their own kindred. I mean, it just blows my mind. I grew up in the South, so, you know, that's something that was frowned upon. Even before I came into this truth, we just didn't do that. You know, you stuck with your own kind.
Not only that, man, look at all these, Slucky, were you still talking there?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you. Sorry about that. You know, we also have to think about this, right? You know, a lot of people look at all these millions of dollars that these heathens have been spending, right? Pushing this interracial agenda. right? They know that their seed is dying out, right? Anything these heathens do you think it's going to be a benefit for us? I mean, like, what have they ever done that's benefited us, really?
Nothing.
Nothing. So if you think now they're trying to join their seed onto ours, do you think that they think, do you actually believe that we could just, that they're Israelites, that they all of a sudden, oh yeah, you know, I think that's a good idea. We're going to join our seed unto them so we can create more Israelites in the land so they can take over us. No. And that goes against the scriptures totally in the curses. A matter of fact, hold up, before I get that, man, let's go to the curses also, because then again, if you say that Native Americans and the Hispanics along with us, you know what I'm saying, are all Israelites, that would no longer make us the minority, but we would be the majority. We would be the majority, and that goes against scripture. Let's go to Salakia. Let me pull up this curse real quick. And all right, Deuteronomy 28, and we're gonna get 62, and I'll read 63. And it reads, and ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. Verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoices over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and bring you to naught. And ye shall have it, Salakia, and ye shall be plucked off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. Now, you know, they got Cubans on there. Cubans have Cuba. Mexicans have Mexico. You know, if we were to add all these folks in there together, we would not be a small people like the Bible says. The Bible says a remnant. It didn't say the majority of all Israel was still left out here. We got destroyed. The Lord is not going to be looking out for our people, and we still fail to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. As you see, we get shot down in the street like dogs. You know, so we don't have no love for no nation. Everybody thinks we're lazy as hell, even though we gave these folks a head start of 244 years. And these folks got the nerve. Oh, man, this stuff is.
I know.
Right, let's go to.
See, we talk about this stuff every night, yo. This is what we do. You know,
it's just plain ignorance and not understanding the scriptures to even think that someone that looks totally against us is going to be our brother. Not only that, what about genetic wise? I thought you said in Deuteronomy 7:6 that we're going to be above all nations upon the face of the earth. Yeah. All right.
What's that song they sing in Christianity? That song called "Jesus Loves All the Little Children of the World," yellow, black, red, and white.
Yeah.
You know, we grew up believing that stuff, and it's like we was all singing it and everything. But that's what I'm talking about. We've been so destroyed, man, to the point where we have to, like I said earlier, we have to unlearn everything that we've learned, that we think we know. We have to unlearn it.
Okay. Ooh. Now, all right, let's go. Let's go to First Ezra 8 and 69 and 70.
Okay. Hey, don't forget that number 36:9 when you get a chance. Number 36:9.
All right, hold on. Let me see.
Tobit chapter 4 verse 12.
Okay. Well, let's get that first then before we move on.
Okay. Yeah. Numbers 36:9.
Numbers verse 36 and chapter 36 and verse 9. It reads, neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance. And that was another reason why intermarriages with different tribes weren't really weren't really praised in those days. You could do it, true, but it wasn't really praised in those days because we had to keep our inheritance within our own tribe. You know, I can't be marrying Judah and then all of a sudden, giving my inheritance over to them. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it is. I got to marry somebody of my own tribe so we can keep our own inheritance. Just like we have 12 gates to the kingdom, one for each tribe of Israel with our names written on it. Or the Lord would have made one big gate if that was the case. Right. Everyone has their own thing that we have to do. You see, the Lord is a separatist. Even in his own nation, he is a separatist. Okay? And I say, I'm gonna go to First Ezra 8 and 69.
You said 8 and 69?
8 and 69. All right. Now, these are pretty much all the nations all together. I'm gonna read. It says, the nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, the Levites, have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles, to the wit of the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, and the Moabites, Egyptians, and Edomites. For both they and their sons have married their daughters, and the holy seed is mixed, so it's no longer pure. It's been mixed with the strange people of the land. And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers, like King Solomon's wicked behind, and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity, which is sin. You really can't get around that. The Lord is not going to, he's not going to reward you for being wicked. And a matter of fact, man, there's a, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that. I think that's a Wisdom of Solomon. Give me a second.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
And
then you know what? Let's go to that the one where you're talking about you know, the 10 tribes, they went to Azareth and they had kept the commandments and all that other stuff, man. We're gonna go ahead and stick a dagger in that too, so we can bring out the correct understanding of that. They never went to Azareth. Azareth is in the future, by the way. There we go.
Hey, brother, before you go to Azareth, there was one I wanted to bring out.
Go ahead, brother, do your thing.
Let me find it right quick. Yeah, the Wisdom of Solomon.
Con, that's it.
Wisdom of Solomon. But before we get to that chart, because I want to be able to pull that thing up. So go to the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4. Let me go right quick.
Okay. Yeah, you want to start at verse 6?
Yeah, I'm gonna start with verse 5.
Okay, yeah, that'll work too.
Yeah, so it says, okay, so that's Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4, and starting with verse 5. It says, then perfect branches shall be broken off, their fruit unprofitable, not ripe to eat, yea, meat for nothing. For the children. Yep, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It just was about to say the next verse what I was about to say. Go ahead though.
Yeah. For children begotten of unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents in their trials. That's serious, because man, as our brothers and sisters are waking up to this truth. So let me give an example. Let's say you have I've had people ask me, they were like, well, I'm a Hebrew brother. You know, before I came into the truth, I was married to, you know, a European wife or heathen wife, and I had kids by them, but I didn't know at the time. So it's like this verse hits home to that, because this is now we're starting to see the truth. We're waking up and we're realizing, man, you know, what did we get ourselves into? You know, and it's hard. I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, and that's why we were saying in the beginning that this lesson is going to be very touchy, because we still have a lot of our brothers and sisters who are maybe still married while they're woke, still married to heathens in some form of fashion. But here's the thing. The Bible is clear. The scriptures are scriptures. And I've had people ask me questions. I'm not here to sympathize, or neither am I here to throw stones, but I'm just going to give you what the scripture says. I'm going to leave it at that, because I mean, the word is the word, brothers and sisters. And whether we like it or not, we have to abide for it. Where's that verse where it says that the Most High changes not? So what makes us think that the Most High is just going to bow down to our sympathy, to our level? You know, it's not going to happen, Zion. The Most High created us. We didn't create him. So that's something that we really have to take in consideration.
You know what? You should have started in verse 3. You want me to read verse 3? And then it says, but the multiplying brood of the ungodly shall not thrive, nor take deep rooting from bastard slips. Right? Nor lay any fast foundation. For though they flourish in branches for a time, yet standing not last, they shall be shaken with the wind, and through the force of the winds they shall be rooted out. That's clear as you get right there. That's as clear as you can get.
So I'm gonna tell you something, brother. You know, if we wanted to, we can end right now, because we showed you enough witnesses and precepts to show you that mixing is strictly forbidden amongst the other nations.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're not even halfway through this because we have a lot to cover still on this. So, and let me get. Did you want to go to? Did you want to? Because I'm going to pull up that picture on a chart in a minute, but I want to get some more of these. Give a couple more witnesses here. So give me a second.
All right, come on, we'll do that.
Yeah, because as the brother, as we are establishing the law, what it says about mixing, we want to make sure that we cover all the grounds so that you all have what you need. You can write all this down and everything, because this stuff is deep, Zion, and it's nothing to play with. All right, give me a second here.
Okay.
Because I wrote a bunch of stuff down.
Oh.
All right, it's a lot, brother. We got so much. Hold on. So on that note, what you were saying about establishing the law, let's go to Joshua 23.
Okay.
And you already know what that one is. Joshua 23 and 7 through 8.
Got it.
And Zion, when you get a chance, and the only reason I'm reading these verses because you can go back later and just read the prior verses, but we're just hitting the main ones so that you can see without a shadow of doubt that the Most High does not play when it comes to us mixing in with these other nations. So Joshua chapter 23, 7 through 8. It says that ye come not among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of the name of their gods or Elohim. So we're not even to mention the name. So these little holidays that come around, we shouldn't even mention the names of that stuff. We should get in the habit of not mentioning that at all, not even thinking about it. It says, name of the Elohim, nor cause to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourselves unto them, but cleave unto Yahudah, as ye have done on and you know, brother, throughout the scriptures, it says that so many times. Why is it that the Most High has to repeat himself throughout scriptures, not to serve these other gods?
Because we was wicked as hell and we keep on disobeying and being wicked.
That's right.
You know, I'm looking on the comment board right here, right? And I see people, listen, right? Israel, y'all have to understand. You may see something in the Bible and it looks like that the Lord has, you know, let's say, for example, when the Lord had allowed all the Benjamites to take strange women. And I'm going to show you the precept where that was perfectly allowable. Because the Lord, he has rules. He has rules. Now, the law in itself, Deuteronomy 23 and 2, that's the law. You can't get around it. If the Lord decides to make something because he doesn't want his whole people destroyed because they was being wicked, man, you're just gonna have to accept that. The law is the law. There's nothing you can do about it. If the law said no, if the Lord said no, if Yahweh said no, then that's what it is.
And don't worry, we're gonna address Moses towards the end, because you know every time we talk about a subject like this, everybody's gonna run to Moses, and so we're gonna address those things at the end. So just asking you all to bear with us.
Okay.
Go ahead, brother.
All right. Now for the there is a stipulation now for Israel to take heathen women, but guess what? That has nothing to do with today's time. Number one, we're in captivity, and number two, we're not in power, and number three, we're not going to war. We're not killing everybody and taking over. We haven't done any of that stuff. So we should never see any man, woman, or any one of our nation with a heathen person. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy 21 and 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say, go ahead and get that one so they can see that.
Okay, right. Okay, Deuteronomy 21 and 10, and it reads, when thou goest forth to war against thine enemy, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive. Everybody, please, Israel, I want y'all to get y'all Bibles and read along so y'all can see when our reading is coming straight out of the scriptures. And seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. The reason why she'll shave her head, because make sure she doesn't have any weapons, and to shave her nails, make sure she don't have any poison or nothing like that, trying to kill up any of the sons of Israel. 13. And then she shall put the raiment off her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother for a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. Now I know a lot of daughters of Zion is not going to like this, but it is what it is. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whether she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. Now, it just can't be any woman, right? It had to be a virgin woman. And the precept to that will go to Numbers 31 and 15. Numbers 31 and 15. And it reads, and Moses said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these called the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against the Lord in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of Israel. That's because they were having sex with these heathen women. And they ended up having a sexual, a sexually transmitted disease that was passed around the camp of the Lord. And it says, now, therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with them. But all women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Now, these are difficult scriptures to hear. These are difficult scriptures for Israel to hear, but it is what it is. Okay. Now, these are the only time period that you are allowed to have a heathen woman. Nowadays, I shouldn't see no one with a heathen woman.
Yeah. Do we have anybody in captivity right now? Absolutely not.
We in captivity
right now. We're in captivity. And so you got to understand too, back then, everything was different back then. And the way people do it now is that they use this as an excuse to try to say, oh, we can just, it's okay, we can marry. And that's the problem. That's why confusion is continual to dwell in Zion, because of this right here, this misunderstanding of this verse. So
let's go to that 10 tribes mess.
Okay, I just want to bring out a few more before we go there.
Okay, come.
Yeah, because there was some that we haven't covered yet. So let's go to.
Wait, Slakia.
Yeah, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7. Deuteronomy 7 and verse 2. Pull that up right
now. Give me 1 second, okay? We're gonna have to we got people in the comment boards. They're not worried about nothing we're saying. They're worrying about the stuff that we have on our heads. That's so aggravating. All right. Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to go to the scriptures real quick, and we're going to show you that we can have our heads covered as long as we're not praying or we're not prophesying. All the prophecies have already been wrote. There are no prophets today, and we are not praying. So we can allow to have our head covered. And we're going to go ahead and bring that out in the scriptures and read it to you nice and slow so you can understand it.
1 Corinthians 11:4. Got you. 1 Corinthians 11:4 says, every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. So here's the thing, Zion. We're not doing both. We're not doing either one. We're not praying. We're not prophesying. So let me tell you something. We're not prophets. All the prophets have passed and gone. What we're doing is we're reiterating what the prophets have already spoken in his word.
That's right.
So,
and for you guys that still doubt, go ahead and pull up 2nd Ezra chapter 1, and we're going to read verse 36. Okay. So we know, matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 35. So Israel knows that it's talking about the nations of Israel that's today on the earth. It says, your houses will I give to a people that shall come. This is Ezra. He's talking about to the old Israelites, the wicked ones. He said, to your houses I will give to a people that shall come. That's us, right? Which have not having heard of me, yet shall believe me, to whom I have showed no signs, yet they shall do that I have commanded them. They have seen no prophets. Let me read that again. They have seen no prophets. So you see people out there on the corner calling themselves a prophet, they're a lie, because the Bible says we ain't seen no prophets. They have seen no prophets, yet they shall call their sins to remembrance and acknowledge them. Okay, now that's the last time we're going to address that. As far as we got something in our head. Okay, I need you before you want to scoff and say whatever, I need you guys to please study the scriptures and go back and study the scriptures again before you make sideways comments. Okay, so let's stick to the lesson. Go back, brother. I'm sorry about that. Salaki.
Yep. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, and let's start with 1 or 2. I'm just going to start with verse 2 because verse 1 talks about all the different groups. Verse 2, it says, "And when the Most High shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughters shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will," and this is what I want to stress, "for they will turn away thy sons from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahudah be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly." That's serious, brother. You hear
That's right.
in that?
You know, that's just like when you read in Second Ezra.
For they will turn
right.
away. See, and that was why they had to put away their wives in the book of Ezra, because they had married these heathen wives. They had to put away their heathen wives along with the children that were born unto them. Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine you being married to heathen women and you being told, "God, you got to put this heathen woman away," and your heathen mixed child is around 14, 15. You know, you don't spend all that time with that child. You don't did this and that and everything. To come to find out, you gotta let them go. Can you imagine how hard that was for our forefathers to do? But they had to do it.
That's
and
right.
After they repented, the Most High had mercy on them.
That's right. Ezra was a holy man. You know, Ezra was following the laws, statutes, and commandments. He wasn't like Solomon, who was Philistine and wicked as hell.
Yep.
You know, he was building temples to these heathen women. You know, he was doing all kinds of wickedness. Solomon was a wicked man. Okay.
Did you read? So I'm gonna go to Exodus 23:32. Have you read that yet?
Exodus 23:32.
Yeah. Exodus chapter 23, and I'm gonna read verses 32.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
So go to Exodus chapter 23, 32 and 33. You're gonna hear me repeat the scriptures because I want you to get them so you can write them down. And if you can't get to them fast enough, once the video is posted onto the channel, you can always go back to the video and check that out. So let's start with verse 32. It says, "You shall cut no covenant." What does it mean to cut a covenant with something? You make an agreement with it. And when you go to Maccabees, the first thing they did was cut a covenant with the Greeks. So our forefathers always had a bad habit of cutting covenants with heathens. So you shall cut no covenant with them, nor with their gods. They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me. For if you serve their Elohims, their gods, it will surely be a snare unto you. So what's happening right now? So you got our people in these churches, they celebrating all these religious pagan holidays, and they're caught up in that stuff. But what's happened is it's become a snare to our people. It's become a stumbling block. And that's what this is talking about. No difference in this time.
You know, and we realize that this is a difficult subject. You know, that we might have plenty of people that might want to identify with might want to identify with Israel. You know, saying that because I'm sorry, this is just what the scriptures say. You know, we're trying to warn you now, so later on you won't be disappointed. It's going to be the same whether it's going to be now, tomorrow, when the Most High comes back. We've already read numerous examples on how in the scriptures the Lord has gotten rid of people that have been born to heathen wives. They're not part of the congregation of Israel. That doesn't go to say that the Lord can't use them or do this or do that, but that doesn't mean they're just not Israelites. The Lord got rid of all of those kids in Ezra with their wives. Now, if they were a child of God, right? If they were the children of God, would that have happened? Of course not, right? Of course not.
So I'm gonna do two more because these two are very powerful. So let's look at for those of you who got your apocrypha, it's going to be either Sirach or Ecclesiasticus.
That's right.
So,
Israel's different shades of brown.
Yep. Or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26.
Ecclesiasticus 26.
Yeah, Ecclesiasticus 26 and verses 19 through 21, and I'll read that.
All right.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, 19 through 21. It says, "My son, keep the flower of your age sound, and give not your strength to strangers. When you have gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with your own seed." Read that again. Sow it with your own seed, trusting the goodness of your stock.
That's right.
So your race, which you leave, shall be magnified, having the confidence of their good descent. Now, I'm going to tell you what the statistics is showing right now in this current day. You know, we know that so-called blacks, and I say that loosely because, you know we're talking about Hebrews. So Hebrews the sleeping ones have the biggest, we have the highest percentage of interracial marriages or have babies by heathens. And so statistics is saying that, and this is just what I'm just throwing this out there, so I'm not making any predictions or anything like that, but they're saying by 2050 that the new black is going to be the new mixed. You know, and we're seeing that like at a high rate right now. Our people just mixing in. So that goes to show you right there, this stuff is real. It's real and it's happening. The hatred is real. And so that's why the Bible said it's only going to be a remnant, because you know, I'm gonna get one more here.
Okay. I'm gonna hit Proverbs 5 after you get done with that.
Okay. All right, Malachi chapter 2. Malachi chapter 2, and let's look at verse 11. It says, Yahudah has dwelt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Yasharahla and in Yasharahla. And Yahudah has profaned the holiness of Yahuwah, which he loved, and has married the daughter of a strange El. Yahuwah will cut off the man that does this, the master and the scholar, out of the tabernacles of Yaakov, and him that offers an offering unto. Now, that's deep.
Man. Okay. Now, you can read all the Proverbs, Israel. You can read all of Proverbs 5. It's telling you just pretty much just to stay away from these heathen women. But I'm gonna start at chapter 5, and I'm gonna start at verse 15. Okay. It says, "Drink waters out of thy own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. And let her be as thy loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. And why would thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins." You heard that? He shall be holden with the cords of his sins, and he shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. Right? You got to ask yourself a question, Zion. You think that the Lord is going to reward you, right, with a child of God when you've been fornicating in your wickedness? Really? I mean, like, does that make any sense at all? You have fornicated with an unclean nation, which is the equivalent to a swine or a pig or something that's, treacherously unclean to us, right? And then you have made a baby, which is a mamzer or a mutt or a mongrel, and now you think that he's going to get the kingdom. Does that make sense?
Nope.
That's insane. But yet, this is what these people are teaching. A matter of fact, you won't even, if that's the case, if you are what your father is, and I can go out and then you can have all these mixed babies, then then why do we need a Israelite woman for? What do we need the so-called black woman? Why do we need her?
Exactly.
What purpose does she? What purpose does she hold if the Israelite man's seed is so strong, and and I can go out and I can have fornication with any of these other heathens, and all of a sudden I can make up a whole new Israelite nation. Then that means, man, the Lord has given the Israelite man the power to go off and to create his own nation. Like I can go off and I can mess with a whole bunch of Moabites. Me and a bunch of brothers. Come on, y'all, let's go out and let's mess with a whole bunch of Moabites and let's create us a whole new people.
Exactly.
And the Lord is not. The Lord is.
Man, that's a very good point you bring up.
The logic of that is just so, man. I mean, whew.
Yeah, they believe that. Then what's the purpose of the daughters of Zion? Then, if we can just go out and have babies by all the heathens, then you see what I'm saying? And this is why this thing is hurting us so much. In this, and remember, we read in Tobit 4:12, strictly forbids that.
That's right.
Both.
But let's go back to the law, right? The law in itself is Deuteronomy 23:2. No matter what you try to say, maybe you try to go off and you say that this person is this, or that is that, or that is that. I bet you $100 you can't, you're not supposed to, you can't bet. But I'm telling you that you can't find it in the scriptures where the Lord has ordained it. You can't see in the scriptures anywhere where the Lord has ordained it or made it so, and he said, okay, you go ahead and you can take that heathen woman and that's okay with me. The Lord has never said that.
That's right. And brother, while you going on, I'm going to go ahead and pull up this. I'm going to go ahead and pull up this chart.
Also, right, while you're pulling up that chart, we're just gonna think about this. It said Deuteronomy 7:6. We are above all nations that are upon the face of the earth, right? If we're going to be above all nations that are upon the face of the earth, as we see today, who's the smartest? Who's the greatest? Who built up almost every civilization that we have in slavery? We have, right? The real Israelites, that can make bricks without straw or mortar, like they had us 20 in Egypt. The real Israelites that can be in the cotton fields and all of a sudden, true to our character because we're lazy, we can pick up the cotton gin. The real Israelites that can keep on. You can't, man. There was studies that saying that why slavery that they thought that we were some kind of strange people because the only way that an Israelite would stop working is we were to die. We wouldn't get sick on the plantations. That's how strong the Israelites were. Our hair our hair, the non-ether, the nappy, right? That is a dominant gene. That's a dominant gene. So if we go and let's say if you mix that among any other nation, right? Let's say you mix it with these with these heathen Indians, right? What's going to happen? The hair is going to turn out curly because guess what? We are Deuteronomy 7:6, above all nations. Who's the fastest? Who's the smartest? Who thinks of everything? Who thought of the car? We did. Even though that heathen Ford stole the idea from us, but still, we thought of that. Israelites, we thought of all of that stuff. You can't show me one great invention. Show me a good invention. Somebody Hispanic thought of that can talk anything a real Israelite has thought of.
You think about even during slavery that a lot of them used us to steal inventions, and especially stuff that was created to create like mass productions, chickens and stuff like that, and building everything. And, and then they got the nerves to tell us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps.
Look at that. Look at the Olympics, right? You got China. Right, you got Britain, you got all these heathen nations, right? But who do they have competing in the Olympics? They got Israelites. They got people that look like me and Brother Daniel here. From Ruddy to the age of Daniel. You understand what I'm saying? Israelites, the real children of God, which are the people that look like us, we are the cream of the crop. we are the ones that are always getting put down. Now, you know what? Now I'm not going to say now. You know, just like we're labeled Mexicans, Salakia, just like we're labeled Americans, they are Hispanic people that look just like us with woolly hair. Hey, Dan, you want to pull that up real quick? Some of those like those are Afro-Hispanics.
Afro-American, yeah, let me pull that up right quick.
So you know, we can say that those are the folks that are spread around the world. No matter what, we go to Germany, to China, no matter where you go at in the world, you're gonna have people that look like me and Brother Daniel, that are hidden, that are living in the worst sections of the world. You're not gonna have any of these other nations out here that they're talking about spread to the four corners of the earth. Man,
all right. So,
and Slakia Israel, that I'm deviating from the scriptures, but you know, but we want to pull this stuff up because we want to prove that these are the people that are the Israelites that look like us. You know, if they have a slight little difference, look at us, but look, we know the same bone structure and all of that stuff. They look like us. Those are our people, no matter where you go at.
So let's look at this. Let's look at this one, Zion. So, and this is gonna tie in too when we talk about this chart. So these camps, they never talk about these people right here. And see, these are Afro-Mexicans, just like we're African Americans. And can you see this on your end, brother?
See
it because I'm looking at the other one. It's a little lag. So you look at all these pictures and they look just like us. These are Afro-Mexicans, but they're not Mexicans. They're Israelites. They're descendants of Hebrew slaves, just like we're not Americans. We are descendants of Hebrew slaves, but we're titled as African Americans. Why? Because that's the title they gave us. Just like the Afro-Mexicans. Why are they titled that way? Because that's the name that they given them. So that was by grand design to keep us hidden. And I think that little town, there's a town where the Afro-Mexicans are. Do you know that they just registered for the census in 2019, first time ever being recognized as a people? I mean, unbelievable. Y'all can pull that up. And let's look up some more. I'm going to pull up.
Well, see now, while you pull that up, brother, you know, just like it says in the curses, you know, before when we was in Egypt, and you know, we came into Egypt, the Lord was blessing us, right? Just like He said in the scripture that He blessed us to multiply us. You know, that means that, you know, we were having children amongst children. Remember that we having so much children, you know, under the captivity of the Egyptians that they started getting scared. You remember they started getting scared. You know, but now, you know, because we failed to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, the Lord has cut our people down to the minority, which is why we're spread out across the four corners of the earth in these small little backwoods sections in these different countries all over the world.
Look at this, brother.
Horrible conditions.
Afro-Cubans right here. Afro-Cubans. And they should be able to see that on this side too. They look just like us. Now, I'm going to show you what the camps, what they push. But before I get in, I want to share something. Are you all familiar with the group? They were part of the One West. They're called FOPE. Matter of fact, let me pull them up right quick because you gotta see them, because I'm gonna have to get my hats off to these brothers because, you know, they were part of the One West camp. They broke away, and they teach now that all the tribes are black. But let me just share this with you right quick so you can see it, because
I had to commend those brothers.
It blew my mind. It blew my mind. And like I said, I have to give my hats off to these brothers. So the name of them, they call themselves FOPE, Israelite School. They've been teaching for a good while, for a pretty long time. And the lead elder there, they broke away from the One West. They were part of the One West. They broke away from the One West. It takes a lot. Like I said, I have to get my hats off to these brothers because it takes a lot to admit that at one time you knew what you were teaching was wrong, to come out and say, wow, we repent and now we on the right track. So now they're teaching that all the tribes are black, and prayerfully, maybe they can reach the other One West camps for the fact that they came out of One West. So, you know, make sure you go to their site, go to their page, give these brothers your support. Because you know, and I feel it, you know, and I don't know if IUIC will ever come around. We have to pray that they'll come around. But here's the thing: if they can come to that truth and get rid of those heathens and deny that false, wicked European chart, all the other stuff can be worked out, Zion. All the little other doctrines can be worked out. We
love our brothers.
This is the biggest stumbling block right here. This fake chart. And let me pull up and let me show you what they got here. So when we talk about Afro-Mexicans and Afro-Cubans, that's what they're not talking about that. They're talking about these people right here. Let me show you. So when you're dealing with that chart, they will admit that the first three, they will admit that Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they will admit that they're Negroes. But then when it comes to the rest of the 10 tribes, they believe or they teach that the 10 tribes are racially mixed in with the people, which is totally against scripture. And everything that we've read, that's a lie. That is a lie. So that chart came out of a man's dream. And it was just adopted, just like Christianity is so popular, you know. And that chart, it actually is a graven image.
Wait, don't you got the
It's a graven image. Now, why did I call it a graven image? Because what they have done is they've taken that chart and they've added other nations outside of Israel into it. That's why it's a graven image.
Don't you got a clip of them boys admitting that chart was fake?
Yep, I sure do. Let me pull it up.
Go ahead and pull that up real quick.
Yeah. So Zion, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a clip of one of the one West Camp leaders, and he had talked with Leroy Bibbins, what they call him, Our Bibbins, and he said that Our Bibbins admitted that chart was wrong. So, but this is going to be a shorter clip of it. I'm going to leave the full clip in the description box once the video loads up onto the page. So let me go ahead and pull this up right quick. All right. Let me alrighty. So this is about 3 minutes long. Just go ahead and check this out, and then we'll come right back.
You see that pork chop preacher just taking the money. Y'all got to understand, you know, there's no pie in the sky in the sweet by and by. Oh, that boy talking, ain't he? You know. And then when Abba Bibbins get up with that impressive voice and that stately manner and that white beard. And he also used to wear a turban. And he wore a white turban, you know. And when he starts speaking, you know, our people were and always were in those days intent on bowing to the gray hair. You know, it was like, that's it. You know, they said we're now going to hear from our elder and our teacher, and he stand up there and he start talking and say, and I can prove it with that book you got right there in your hand. You know, and anyway, that was a great experience. I went up there a couple times. One time we were over there and they had the charts up, and they had the charts that said if you're Jamaican, you come from this tribe, and if you're from Barbados, it's that tribe, and read the book, said, hey, come on, Pop. What is, you know that ain't right. He said, of course, Danny, I know that's not right. He said, but that's the hook. That's how we get them into place, and we wire them up towards truth. And they had the charts up, and they had the charts that said, if you're Jamaican, you come from this tribe, and if you're from Barbados, it's that tribe, and read the book, said, hey, come on, Pop. What is, you know that ain't right. He said, of course, Danny, I know that's not right. He said, but that's the hook. That's how we get them into place. Then we wire them up towards truth. Well, you know, years later, after he passed away, and his sons and all of them, they either died or moved away.
So they admit that chart was wrong.
That's right.
you know, some of you might not have seen that clip, but that is real. Like I said, I'm gonna leave the full version in the description box. Now, I want to show y'all something, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna pull up this chart right quick, and I'm gonna read something from Genesis, because I'm gonna show you how idiotic this stuff is. So, let me wait till this chart. Can you see the chart on yours when you're in?
Yeah, huh.
Right. So this is the chart that these camps, the ones who are pushing this stuff, are going by. So they say Judah is the American blacks. They say Benjamin is West Indies blacks, and Levi are the Haitians. And by the way, no one knows what tribes they are. So this is why this is even false right here, because no one knows what tribes they are. Nobody asked our forefathers what tribe they were when they got on them slave ships. They just threw them all up like sardines and shipped them off.
And then not only that, but they were having a problem with that back in the day when they were trying to find out which one of them guys was Levitical priests, because they didn't have any paperwork to prove which tribe they were from. They were having problems with that way back in the day, which is why Paul says, you know, don't be concerned with genealogies, with Jews' genealogies. I mean, like, because, man, I mean, like, we never thought that it would come a day that all of a sudden we'll just have to look up and then we will have this kind of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious, you know what I'm saying, to know who your brother is. You know what I mean? It's a person that looks like you.
Yeah. And check this out, brother. So they got, it was so funny. They will admit that the first three are Negroes. Literally, they will tell you that they are Negroes. But then all the way from Ephraim all the way to Naphtali, they looking like Caucasians. They looking like what I'm about to show you right now. I mean, it's crazy. And then we're going to go to Genesis. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show y'all something. So they got everybody else looking like this. These are supposed to be the Hispanics, Native Americans, and Mexicans. Now, go to Genesis. Go to Genesis chapter 30. All right. These are the sons of Jacob. I mean, it's just, man.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Let's go ahead and pull that Leah and Rachel and all of them.
Yep.
Yeah, pull that chart back out too, so we can see the exact nations that they have for because we're going to show how, you know what I'm saying, this is absolutely man, they should have thought it, you know what I'm saying, if they was going to lie about a chart, man, they should have thought of this lie a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, because we know Leah had the bulk of the kids. Right? So look at this, and this to show you that Issachar and Judah are brothers. Go to Genesis chapter 29, and let's start with verse 34. And you all can go back and just read that, you know, read the rest of it later. But I just want to show you this point that Judah and Issachar have the same mother and father. All right. It says, and she conceived again, it's verse 34, 29 and verse 34. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was a name called Levi. And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah, which is the 4th son. All right, Judah. Now, go to Genesis chapter 30, and let's look at verse 18. Genesis chapter 30 and verse 18. And it says, and Leah said, God hath given me my hire, because I have given my maidens to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. Okay. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the 6th son. So it goes on. So it tells you right there. So if you have you a Hebrew and you have 3 black concubines or wives, whatever, and you have children, wouldn't they look alike, brother?
All day.
So how in the hell did you come to the point where you got some damn Mexican as Issachar?
That doesn't, you know, it does not compute. It cannot.
I'm gonna show you something else. Hey, can you
that's insane.
Get 9:7 right quick? Get Amos 9:7. And just
hey, you know what? Not only that, brother. That's so. It's like, okay, and those, please, nobody on the comment board get simple, because look, when God decided to make Jacob and Esau, he said it was a miracle, and there was going to be 2 different nations in the womb. What we're dealing with now is not the same thing. This is just regular childbirth afterwards. Regular, this is regular stuff. This is no miracles. When you're up in age, you're not supposed to be having no babies, and the Lord decides to make 2 nations. This is not the same thing. This is regular childbirth. Just like how, when me and my wife, we had a child, and guess what? They look like us. They look like, real Hebrews. I'm pretty sure any of you other sisters and brothers out there, when y'all had kids, even if by chance you had an albino, which is one every 10,000 births, which is a possibility for you to have an albino, right? Even if that were the case, those albinos, they still coming out and they looking just like you. They got nappy hair, their skin just look weird, But as soon as they, have another wife or son or whatever, and they breed that out, and guess what? They turn right back dark again. It doesn't make any sense how you can. Where in the history of the Bible does it show that we've actually had thousands of years of time to make up a whole nother nationality? I mean, like, where is that in the scriptures? There is no precept for that.
Yeah, and we understand that there's different shades of black. So look at this picture I got right here. You can see the different shades. You can see the different shades, and these are our brothers and sisters who are all over. When you see the 2 women together, those are Afro-Mexicans, and the brother with the hat, all these from different countries, but they all Negroes. And that's not hard to understand. So, like I said, we've been programmed to believe that we're the only race of people that do that.
And we fit every curse.
Everybody else, And so I could tell you what they won't look like, though. They definitely won't look like this right here when I'm about to pull up. And these for sure are not Negroes. You can look at them, and you go up to a Mexican. What's funny? I seen a video of a camp brother trying to convince so hard that a Mexican was an Israelite, and that Mexican told him, he says, we know who the Israelites are. We know that the Israelites are black, and we're not Israelites. Now this is the Mexican telling a camp brother this. But this camp brother is trying to convince this Mexican so hard that he was an Israelite.
I bet you, Israel, I want, if y'all can do me a favor, right? I want y'all to find where there was any of these other abominations that they have on this chart other than our people. Where were they at before the commandment keepers and this truth start coming out? Who is the ones that told these heathens that they were Israelites? The people that look just like me and you.
Hey, brother, let's
waking up.
Check this out. I'm gonna pull this chart up right quick. Go to Isaiah 11:11. Let's do another.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and knock that out.
Yeah, go to Isaiah 11:11, and I want you to read those places really slow too when you read it. Read them one by one.
It's lucky, Israel. I'm doing pretty good actually. Okay, Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 11.
Yep, read it.
Now, and also, right, we're going to get into precepts that this is proof that we're going to prove that this is talking about the 10 tribes, okay? Because, man, you can read here and it doesn't really, and you can't really prove that this is from the 10 tribes from this singular precept. But we're going to jump to other precepts and we're going to prove that these are the 10 tribes, okay? And it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt.
There. Yep, from Egypt. Stop right there. Where do you see Egypt at on this chart? Do you see Egypt on this chart, brother?
No, I don't see it. Anybody in the comments? Do y'all see Egypt on that chart?
Does Zion see anything on this chart? Y'all see any Egypt on this chart, Zion? I mean, y'all be the judge. All right, brother, read the next one.
All right, and from Pathros.
Y'all see Pathros on there?
You know, I'm baffled how they just, you know, overlook the scriptures and make up their own stuff. And from Cush.
And Cush.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, y'all see Cush on there?
Let's see, woman.
Look, let's look at that.
And from Elam.
Y'all see Elam? And y'all look up those modern names. And y'all look at those names. Look and find out what the modern day names are. You're going to see that those areas are parts of Africa, parts of what they call the Middle East and the Mediterranean islands.
That's right, Khan. And from Shinar. I don't see Shinar on there. And from Hamath. I don't see that on there. And from the islands of the sea.
Okay. Go to one more. Go to Zephaniah 3:9, I believe.
Khan. We're gonna need to pull that precept back too, though. It's lucky.
Yep. 3:9.
That's right. Want to read that?
Yeah. Go ahead and read that.
Okay. For then will I turn the people a pure language, and they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent.
Okay, I think it's 3:10. Go down one.
From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughters of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering.
Okay. Do you see that on here in this chart?
No, I don't see anything about the rivers of Ethiopia.
Exactly. So what I'm trying to tell you, Zion, is that these pieces we just pulled up, these witnesses, destroys this chart alone, and we're not even finished, you know. And so it just goes to show you that this chart is a man-made chart. But see, they try to use Ezekiel. They try to use Ezekiel 37, where it talks about right upon this stick the 12 tribes, but that has nothing to do with the locations. It don't even list the locations. Yes, we know that there are 12 tribes, but you don't know. No one knows what tribe they're from.
And where did it say that Ezekiel was writing down every single Hebrew that he had in front of him and telling them what tribe they was from? Where does it say that the Lord told any of these clowns out here, any one West doctrine, to make a 12 tribe chart? Please show me that precept where it said where the Lord came down, when we just read that the Lord is not, there are no prophets, right? And a prophet is someone that has direct contact with the Lord, right? Divine intervention from the Lord. Now, we don't have those today. We don't have those people today. They don't exist right now, right? They'll come in the future, but as for now, we don't have them today, right? So who in the world told these folks to make up this 12 tribes chart?
And you know what they like to say? They like to say, well, within, you got to replace it with something. Well, the scripture states that there are 12 tribes. That's all you need to know. There are 12 tribes, and they're all Negroes.
That's right.
I'll get that Amos 9:7 right quick, because I wanted to make a point about something.
Where?
Amos 9:7. Let me pull up this picture right quick too while you're doing that.
All right. Oh yeah. I'll also get the wax spell too. And it says, "Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me? O children of Israel, saith the Lord, have I not brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt, and Philistines from Caphtor, and the Syrians from Kir?"
Okay. So why did he say, "Are you not like unto the children of the Ethiopians unto me"? He wasn't talking about characteristics. He wasn't talking about in a spiritual sense. He was talking about literal. Because if you go to Ethiopia right now, you got people that look over there that look just like us.
Yeah.
You can't even tell that they're Ethiopians because they have the same features as we do. You know, they have the different shades of black, the woolly hair. So that's what it means. So you mean to tell me that these Hispanics, these Native Americans, Hispanics, and Mexicans are likened unto the Ethiopians? And you
Absolutely not, brother.
You would call all these folks Negroes. They'll curse you out.
And see, this is why the scripture says that let the let the wheat and the grow together. What is it?
Let the wheat and the tares grow together.
Yes, that's right. Let the wheat and the tares grow together. You know, the Lord's not, because, you know, sometimes you really can't tell. You really can't tell if they're Israelite or not. So, you know, at the end of the day, what is it really certain? You know, it's not really doing anyone harm for them to keep the commandments, even they're among you. You might not know they're among your people, but the Lord knows. And as long as you're keeping the commandments, you know, and you're in ignorance and you're not sure whether or not that person's whether or not they're Hebrew or not, You know, the scripture said, let the wheat and the tare grow together. Okay. Let's go, while we're on this 10 tribes, let's go ahead and oh, hold up. Amos 9 and what?
No, you
yeah, 7, you already read it. Yeah, let's tackle that let's tackle that thing in Esdras.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. You know, first let's pull the precept up before we go there.
Why are you doing that, brother? I'm gonna pull up the true Negro Israelites.
All right. All right. Okay, there's a common misconception that's going around Israel. And they believe that the 10 tribes were carried away to some place called Azareth, right? But when we read in 2nd Ezra 13, that is all talking about the future. That whole dream that's going on is talking about the future. The Lord comes back, destroys the heathen, rescues his people, you know, grabs the 10 tribes from where they were located at, okay? It has nothing to do, it's not going to all of a sudden talk about the whole future and then it's going to all of a sudden jump back to the past and say where, you know, where the Israelites, they went across the land to Americas and they kept the commandments. You know, I mean, like that stuff is foolishness. If that were the case, where they kept the commandments, where they never kept them before, why are the those heathen Indians, you know, worshiping spirit gods and you know, dancing around teepees, you know what I'm saying, going blah, 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 and all that other foolishness with them feathers and stuff on that. What part of Israel tradition is that?
Hey, bro, before you go on, I just want to let you know something right quick. So this subject that he's getting ready to talk about, we sat down and we studied this thing for hours. Because we both had to do some redigging, researching and everything, and we got it, and that's why we're presenting it now. So
okay, first things first, let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13, and I'm going to read 39 through 40. I'm just going to get the meat of it. Okay, it says, and whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, right? Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Osea, whom Salmanassar, king of Assyria, led away captive. And he is not talking about the king of Assyria right here. This is talking about the Hamashiach. And he, meaning the Hamashiach, carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. Okay? Now this is, when he said he's gathered the other peaceable multitude, that they were the same people that were carried away in Assyria. I'm going to show you that those folks are still in Assyria today, which is the precept that we just read in Isaiah 11:11. Let's go to when this actually happened. Now we'll see that they stayed in Assyria and they still are in Assyria today, part of the 10 tribes. Let's go to 2 Kings, and we're going to read chapter 17 and verse 1. Everybody, I want you to get your Bibles out. Please write down these precepts, because this is how you fight false doctrine. All right, and I'm going to read. And it reads, and in the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Osea. Now that's that same guy that's in 2nd Ezra 13, Osea the king. It's just spelled different. You know, it's spelled Hoshea, and in Ezra it's spelled Osea, but it's the same guy. Okay. And it said, the son of Eliah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. Verse 2. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel which were before him. Verse 3. Against him came up Salmanassar, king of Assyria, and Hosea became his servant and gave him presents. Now, let's skip down to 22, and we're going to read 23. It says, for the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did, they departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of the sight, as he said by all his servants of prophets. So Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. Okay, that's the precept. Let's go into to 11:11, where the Lord's coming back to you know, get the folks that are from Assyria. That was Isaiah 11:11. Guess what? It says the exact same thing, that he went to get another peaceable multitude from the same place in 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. It's the same precept. Now you get these other brothers, right, that say that this is talking about these heathen. Ask them to tell you, where's the precepts for this? Precept must be upon precept. This is the future it's talking about. When the Lord's coming back, he's going to rescue the 10 tribes. I don't know how to get it clearer than that. And this has nothing to do.
It's super clear. And again, we can't stress this enough, brothers and sisters. Please make sure you write down these scriptures, because this is what we do on a daily. And we got to start. The only way that we're going to get this, we have to come out of this lethargic status we're in, and we got to really dig into the scriptures. Even when we don't feel like it, we got to dig into it. Right?
We can't keep the same spirit as we had when we was in Christianity, when we just let anybody tell us anything and we just believed it.
Right.
That's how we got into Christianity in the first place and got lost, is why we don't read. Just imagine if all of us just started reading the scriptures from the beginning. We would have never been in Christianity. None of us would have never really been, but for some reason, the Bible for our people is like, salt to a slug. We don't want to, we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to read it. We just want to listen to these guys on the corner and teach us stuff. The reason, you have to do the work. Everybody has to read. Every man in this truth, we have to read. Women too. But
hey, brother, I want to clear something because they use, and let me pull up this picture of what they call the 10 tribes. These old European heathens that they're calling Israelites. And why you get Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 9, because this is the verse that they use to try to prove that the northern tribes are racially mixed with the other nations, which just has nothing to do with color, race, or anything. It's talking about completely different. So
we can get that cake unturned too.
We'll do that too. Yeah, and then go to Jeremiah. Yeah, get the Jeremiah one first. Jeremiah 12 and verse 9.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Jeremiah 12 and 9. It says, "Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour."
So they'll try to use this to say that, see, this is talking about the northern tribes being racially mixed with the people. But get what you just read. You read a very key word. It says that the birds round about are against her. So that's talking about, that's a witness to Matthew when it says that we should be hated among all nations. That's what that means. That's what that's talking about. That we would just be hated among all nations because we are hated. Has nothing to do with race. Has nothing to do with being.
It just baffles me how they could take that, and say a speckled bird. Oh, that means that we have 50 different nationalities. We have these these heathens right here. Yeah, man, we got Mexicans. Koreans. We have everybody. Anybody can do it.
Only a black person would say something like that. Hey, let me ask you something, brother. Now, I've been all over the world, So when you look at these other heathen nations outside of Israel, like Moab, like the Chinese, do you ever hear of Chinese racially marrying with other races?
No.
You ever hear? If they do, it's on a very percentage, because they would get disowned by their parents if they marry outside their race. Koreans are the same way. I was in Seoul for a while. I was in Korea. They're the same way. They are not allowed to marry outside their race. If they do, then they get disowned. We're the only Joes that do that.
I mean, just the fact that people these guys believe that the Lord's going to reward your wickedness with a child of God is just, I mean, I don't know, man. A case in point. Even though Uriah, David, right? David, he had lust after Bathsheba, right? And Uriah the Hittite, he was a Hittite, which means he's a heathen. But David went unto her and had a child by the woman, right? What did the Lord do to the child? He killed the child after 7 days. The Lord is not playing no games with no kind of wickedness.
Right.
I don't understand why you believe that. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, David even fasted and prayed and cried and wept and did all that stuff for all the 7 days, hoping that the Lord would spare his iniquity. The Lord did not overlook that. Killed that baby in 7 days.
Mm-hmm. So that goes to tell you right there, like we said earlier, wickedness comes with consequences. And
it said that the unrighteous seed shall be rooted out.
mm-hmm. And because of that is the reason why we're in this situation that we're in right now. And still haven't gotten it. And it's funny because all the precepts and witnesses that we've given, nobody should have no doubt in their minds. What thus says the word is clear. And the only reason why we have an issue with it is because we want to compromise. We try to make it fit our benefits. We try to make it fit our sensitivity. And that's our problem. We keep trying to take the Most High and bring him down to our level. Don't work that way. Most High says, I change not.
So Israel, at this time, I guess, what do you want to do? You want to open up the comment board for questions?
Well, we're right about we're almost around about 2 hours. We can look at some, but let's address one more thing right quick.
Okay.
We would like to go to Moses, and we're going to go to Numbers. Was it Numbers? What was it? Numbers 118. We was going to go to. Yeah, it was Numbers 12. I'm sorry, Numbers 12. 1 through. There was a point that you wanted to bring out and everything, so let's go there. I wrote it down, so.
Okay, a lot of people have a beef with. They have a problem that Moses, as it says in the scriptures in Numbers verse 12 and 1, it says, and Miriam and Aaron. All right, that's important that you realize it was Aaron as well. Spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman he had married. Well, he had married an Ethiopian woman. Now, what does that tell you right there? What does that say? Why were they speaking against Moses? That's because he was in sin, right? That's the reason why they were speaking against him, because they saw that he was doing something that he wasn't supposed to be doing. They felt that he did something that he wasn't supposed to do. Now, Miriam, so if you read out through the scriptures, Miriam is the only one that got punished for this. Aaron didn't get punished. Aaron didn't get punished for speaking against, Moses for marrying that heathen woman. The reason why Miriam was the only one that got punished is because, as you know, in the law, there's no woman supposed to speak up against no man. Period. That's not supposed to happen. But as you see, Aaron, he didn't get punished for that. Why? Because Aaron was in the right. There's certain things that the Lord decided not to even expound on it in the scriptures or anything. He was like, who are you to say anything about Moses? And that's what we have to take. Sometimes, Israel, that the answers aren't 1000% clear in the scriptures. Sometimes it's just not. And I'm sorry about that. No one knows it all. But guess what? The Lord gives us enough to know not to mess up, as we know the law. The law is always here. And the law tells us not to do that. And that's just what it is.
Yeah. So bottom line, Israel, we gotta make sure that we're clear, that the Most High ordained that the Most High is clear. His law stands sure. So one thing, Moses, they were in captivity. Moses fled because he had killed the Egyptian. So he fled for his life. So, you can't use Moses as an ultimatum to use that as an excuse to marry heathens. And that's what some of our brothers and sisters do. And knowing good and well, that's not, that's not the case. And so we got to come out of that, scriptures is scriptures. So
Israel,
bottom line,
do y'all understand? Israel, do y'all understand that through the precepts that we brought out, that it's plain and evident that if you were to have a child from a heathen that is not considered an Israelite, that the Lord would do away with it? Can I get a comment on the comment board if you agree? Man. You want to open up the board for some comment questions?
Yeah, so we're drawing to an end, Zion. So if you got any questions, we'll try to, we won't be able to get all of them. But if you got questions, go ahead and we get some cans. So there's a little lag. So go ahead and ask your questions. If you have anything that we discussed. And we'll just wait here because there's a lag.
All right.
Okay, if you see anything, words
All right.
mine. So
Okay, pertaining to the subject matter at hand, Israel, we would like you to ask. We'll pick out probably at least 2 good questions from the comment board. So please put on your thinking caps and ask a good question that you wanted to ask, depending on the topic that we're talking about today. Hey, Dan, I'll let you go ahead and pick out the questions that you want to get answered, brother.
yeah, I'm looking right now.
Okay.
And if you see something too, say, because I think you can see. I think you might be able to see yours a little better. I can't really see it; it's really small. So,
Yeah.
we debating now.
Questions that pertain to the lesson.
Yep. Oh, somebody said, why is Joseph not on the chart? I think that's the question. Why is Joseph
not on the 12 tribes chart? I mean, we don't care about the 12 tribes chart.
It was split between his son Ephraim and
Manasseh.
Yeah, Ephraim and Manasseh. So that's why you don't see the chart of you don't see Joseph, because the 2 tribes were split between his 2 sons.
Oh, shit. So mixed people. Wait, so mixed person or a Gentile cannot be righteous. You're not you're not going to the kingdom. If you're a mixed person or you're a Gentile, you are not going to the kingdom. Are there 2 lineages of Christ? Are there 2 lineages of Christ? Is he from Solomon? Okay, now I'll answer that one. There are 2 lineages of Christ. One is the supposed one that leads up to Joseph. Now, I don't want to really I'm gonna answer it lightly. Okay. From the beginning, Joseph has had a curse on his line through Peniah from all the way from the Old Testament. Now, from Solomon all the way up, that seed line is wicked as hell and filled with mamzers. They'll do nothing but sin and commit fornication and whoredom against the Most High. So we know that the Lord is not, common sense to tell you that the Lord is not going to descend from a wicked line of kings, right? So that's why we have to go to Nathan's line, right? And that's why it's in Luke. His line is in Luke, and this is also dispels that abominable doctrine that says that he came from the seed line of a man. Man, you can cut that all day. You can be like, well, if we're born into sin, right? Well, then every man is born to sin from a seed from his father, right? So if Joseph was already a man in sin, right, and it was really his seed that impregnated Mary, then the Lord would automatically be a sinful baby. It would be impossible for him to be, clean and not full of sin. In the scriptures, it actually says, hold on, man, let's go to Galatians 4. Give me a second, Israel. Let me pull this up. So this is actually a good precept. Galatians 4. Okay. It says, but when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth, this is Galatians 4:4. It says, but when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his son made of a woman under the law to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons, right? It has nothing to do with Joseph. As you see in the scriptures, when you go down the line of Joseph and Matthew, it says, as was supposed the father. It says beget, 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 beget. But then when it gets to the Hamashiach, it came from Mary. I don't understand how we can believe in angels and all of this other stuff, and then all of a sudden you can't believe that the Spirit of the Most High has encompassed Mary and caused her to be born with a seed.
Right. Well, think about the first Adam. Was he born? And this is going to have to probably be another whole study, because then we're getting into real deep. But just in a nutshell, was Adam created from sperm. You know, he was made from the dust of the ground.
That's right.
So that seed from the first Adam still carries on, and that's what people don't realize. You know, and that's why, you know, you have these brothers talking about Joseph is the father when you know, the Holy Spirit was incapacitated around Mary. So they can't get that because they look at the seed, and there's a verse that they use. I think it's in Ecclesiastes. I don't have it with me right now, where it says that every king on the earth is born out of the seed. But with Hamashiach's case, it was different because he was there from the very beginning. So again, that's going to be that's going to have to be a whole nother subject. And I did matter of fact, you can look at my playlist. I did a video on Joseph is not the father, and I covered all those points. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's called Joseph is not the daddy, father. You'll find it in my playlist under one of those. I have to go look. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me bring it up right quick.
All right.
Let me, so they know where to go to look.
I saw something in here, man. Somebody was saying something about they were thinking that Khan, I saw in the comment board. Yeah, I mean, you know, we're gonna have all manner of servants and handmaids, you know, when that time comes. You know, whether it be, you know, so of course it could be a mamzer, it can be anything, you know. But far as I saw how you said grafted in, there is no grafted in of any kind of unclean heathen, period. You know, that's just talking about the grafted in. You have to be part of the same branch to get grafted in back to the same tree. You can't be a orange tree and get grafted in into a banana tree. You know, so it's just not gonna it's just not gonna work. You know, you have to be part of the same tree to get grafted back in into the same tree. Those heathens, all of them, after the 1,000-year reign of the Hamashiach, we're not gonna have to worry about any of them or any of that anyway. They're all gonna get destroyed.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to say, brother?
And just to add on it, about somebody was mentioning about the servants. Yeah, so just know that they're gonna. Matter of fact, let me pull up a couple of. Let me get a couple of witnesses on that.
I see we got some Mexicans in here.
And then we'll close it out. You know, as far as the heathens being servants.
Listen, Israel, and you Hispanics out there, you know, I'm just saying that, you know, I apologize that my people have actually told you a nefarious lie. They've you know, they witnessed to your people, and they told you guys that you guys are Israelites. I'm sure, you know, it's great. You know, and trust me, you know, if it was me, you know, I'll be like, hey, man, you know, I'll be happy too. But then when I figure out something, of course you're gonna, you know, fight hard as you can. But just go back over the video and go over the precepts over and over again. I promise you that you guys are not part of the children of God. The children of God look like me and Brother Daniel.
That's right.
And that's all there is to it. I'm sorry about that. You know, there's nothing I can do. You know, the Most High and His children, the children are going to look like the Father. You know, the Most High has woolly hair, and you know he has and you know he has brown skin. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? I don't know what children don't look like their father.
That's right.
You know, and then you know that's just what it is. You know.
So, yeah, that's all I have. I was going to pull up something, but this was referring to like that captivity, Isaiah 14, 1-2, and they can go back and they can just go back and read that. We don't have to read it right now. But write these scriptures down, Zion. So this is pertaining to servants. Just write it down right quick. You got a pen. Jeremiah 30:16. Isaiah 14, 1-2. Isaiah 14, 21-22. Revelation 13:10. Obadiah 1:20. Isaiah 61, 5-7. And Exodus 12:44. That's just a few. So, brother, I don't have anything. You have anything? I'm going to close them out with that Seed of Israel video.
Oh, yeah, that's good, bro. Yeah, I love that music.
But you have anything? You have anything you want to add?
I don't have anything else I want to add. You know, we pretty much just said everything that needs to be said. If you're still in doubt about you know, about any of this thing, well, you know, proceed. Well, you go ahead and you know, send yourself straight to the bottomless pit.
Yep, it's simple, Zion. No, I mean it's just let's go through all the scriptures that was presented.
At the end of the day, you gotta obey the law.
Yep, ask the Most High for understanding. So with that being said, we're going to leave you at Revelation 14:12, and we're going to leave you with this video. And after this video is finished, then we're going to go off. We're going to go offline. But shalom, brothers and sisters, stay strong. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Israel.